Hello everyone. I welcome you all for today's session on digital system design using Verilog. Lecture 7 on module 2, that's about memory. I'm your friend Madhav Khanderao, Assistant Professor, Department of ENC, Gausia College of Engineering, Ramnagaram. If you're new to my channel and if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, click on the bell icon for further notification or go to the description for earlier videos. So in the previous sessions, we have seen about the memory concepts, memory types, multi-port memories, dynamic RAM, read-only memories. In today, we'll be seeing an important topic that's about error detection and correction. So till now, we have just assumed that whatever the data written in the memory were correct. Now, if the data written in the memory, if it is not correct, then how to detect it and how to correct it is the concept what we are going to study today. Okay. So in our most of our discussions, we assume that the digital circuit stores and processes the information correctly, as we just said. So bit error can occur in memories from a number of causes. So there may be so many causes due to which the memory may have a bit errors in that. So some of the errors are transient in nature and they are called as soft errors, which involves a bit flip in a memory cells without a permanent effect on the cell capacity to store the data. So what happens here is that a bit is flipped in the memory cell without affecting the storage capacity. So soft errors are where it involves a bit flip in a memory cell without permanent effect on the cell capacity. Okay. So what are the causes? How it may occur is that a neutrons collide with the silicon atom in the DRAM chip, leaving a stream of charges that can disrupt the storage or reading of the charge in the DRAM cell. So one of the causes what it has is that a neutron collide with the silicon atom in the DRAM cell chips. So leaving it a stream of charges, means a large number of charges will be occurred due to the collision there. That can disrupt the storage of the or reading of the charge in the DRAM cell there. So this is one of the cause what we have. The other form of errors what we have is that a frequent of soft error occurrence. The soft error rate depends on the way in which DRAMs are manufactured and the location in which they operate. These soft errors, whatever are occurring, it depends upon the way in which the DRAMs are manufactured there and the location in which they are operating. So soft error can occur in DRAM and other memories due to the another parameters are also such as electrical interference. Why electrical interference? It is be connected with the so many wires there. Okay, inbuilt. Due to that, there must be a certain delay. So that may cause a soft error. So the effect of poor physical circuit design and other causes. So these are the some of the important causes due to which a soft error may occur in a DRAM. Okay, so that error that persists in the memory circuits are called as hard errors. So whatever the error that is existing in the memory circuits, they are all called as hard errors. Why? It's a physical variation. So they can result from manufacturing defects or electrical wear after prolonged use. Means one is due to the manufacturing defect or due to a long use of the product, the electrical parameters start degrading it, and due to that there must be a error. A memory cell or a chip affected by a hard error is no longer able to store the data. Since it is physically damaged, then it is very difficult to store the data. So a read operation would always yield a 0 or a value of 1, regardless of the bit value that was previously written there. Okay, since it is a read operation, it is not overwriting it. Whatever the previous value it is stored, that is read there. Either it is 0 or 1. So given that the memories are more susceptible to the bit errors than the logic circuits using flip-flops and registers for storage, due to the storage density and longevity of the data in the memory, it is more common to include some form of error detection in the memory circuit than in the logic circuit. So whatever the hardware what we are designing the memory, if we add an extra circuit for the error detection, then it will be very easy for us to detect the error and resolve it. One such method what we have is parity error checking. That is, parity involves counting the number of 1 bits in a code word and setting a parity to 1 or 0, ensuring that the total number of 1 bit is either even or odd. If number of 1 is even, it is 0. If number of 1 is odd, it will become odd, depending upon the designer there. In case of memories, use of parity involves adding an extra bit cell to each memory location. So when we say that we have to add during the hardware design itself, then we need to add some extra bit cell for the memory location in order to identify the parity. So when we write to a location, we compute the parity bit and store it in the extra cell. So before writing the data to the memory, we identify the parity bits and then store the parity result in the extra cell there. So when we read the location, we check the data together with the parity bit and identify whether the data is correct or wrong. If not, then we say that the data is not corrupted. If parity bit is detected, we say the data is corrupted. So the problem with using parity to check for errors is that it only allows us to detect a single bit flip in a stored word. So what happens here in the parity bit check is that it can detect only a single bit error in the stored code word in the memory. Stored code word means whatever the stored information in the memory. It does not allow us to identify which bit, nor does it allow us to detect an even number of bit flips. So it just identifies, but it doesn't resolve the problem there. Which bit has been flipped? Okay. So if we could identify the particular bit that is flipped, we could correct the error by flipping the bit back to its original value and then continue the operating as normal. So if we try to design in such a way that after detecting the particular bit which is flipped, we can convert it back to the original value and continue the operation. So we could also write the corrected data back to the memory on the assumption that the bit flip was software. So this operation of doing the detecting and correcting the bit flipped in the memory location has to be done, and that is done with the help of one of the error correcting code known as Hamming code. So we'll start with a single error correcting Hamming code there. Okay, so we detect the single bit error and try to correct it. So in our stored information, or we give it as a code word, if it has n bits, so we need log n to the base 2 plus 1 number of additional check bits for the ECC, that is error correcting code. Now let us see a simple example how this Hamming code is done with the help of ECC there. Let us assume that we have 8 data bits. So we need 4 check bits given a total of 12 bits. How we are doing this one? If you substitute that n as 8, log 8 to the base 2 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. So we need 4 check bits. Now 4 plus 8 is 12 bits. So ECC bit is 12 bits in nature. So check bits are computed from the value of data bits during a write operation. And the entire ECC word is written to the memory location. So in this way, we can detect the error bit flipped in the memory location and correct it back. If we add an extra hardware called as Hamming code or error correcting code method. Okay. Now let us see a concept. If we represent data bits as D1 to D8, then ECC bits we are represented as E1 to E12. and we can just check it out here, all the information there, how we are writing it. And generally, parity bits are added at the 2 raised to the power of 2. The ECC bit whose indices are power of 2 are the parity bits which checks the error in the given ECC word there. So after identifying the parity bit, we need to find in which bit the error is there. And how to identify? We have to perform the exclusive OR of the remaining bit position of the given algorithm. You will understand the given algorithm with a simple example there. Okay, so here they are given a simple example that if you want to find a E2, there is a parity E2. Since the base is 2, we have to consider 2 bits and eliminate the 2 bits. Before that number, whatever is there, we have to neglect. So before E2, E1 is there, we should not consider. Now, since it is E2, 2 bits we have to consider E2, E3. E2, E3. So E2 is in the left hand side, we have to calculate. So E3 will come in the right hand side. Next, 4 and 5 is neglected. Next is 6, 7, we have to consider. Next, 8, 9 neglected. 10, 11 considered. 12 neglected. So these are the bits where we have to perform exclusive OR operation. Okay, we'll just check it out in the given example there. Okay. Since each data bits has at least 2 1 bits in its binary index, each data piece is included in the computation of at least 2 check bits. So when my memory location is in read, again the entire ECC word is read. So we recompute the value of the check bits from the data ECC bits and compare them using a bit-wise exclusive OR operation. So exclusive OR operation is used to identify and correct the error bits. So if the comparison results is 0, then the data is uncorrupt. If the comparison result is non-zero, then we say there is some error or a syndrome. It means that there is a bit flip in a given code word. Okay, so which we need to correct it. After identifying the particular bit which is flipped, we have to flip that and send the corrected data to the given memory location with the help of ECC bits. Now let us understand the same concept with the help of simple example. Compute the 12-bit ECC word corresponding to the 8-bit data word 011401. Now given is a 8-bit data. With this 8-bit data, we need to identify 12 ECC bits. So 12 ECC bits are what? E1, E2, E4, E8. So this is the result. So XOR operation of even 1 is 0. XOR operation of odd 1 is 1. Let us see in detail here. Our error check bits are 2 raised to 0, as we say 2 raised to power. 2 raised to 0 is E1, 2 raised to 1 is E2, 2 raised to 2 is E4, 2 raised to 3 is E8. We have ECC bit given as 12 bits as this one. First, let us find even. How to find even is that first we have to consider even in the LHS. Check 1 bit and skip 1 bit is the algorithm. This is the simple way to remember. So now E1 is considered, then E2 is skipped. If you observe here, E1 considered, E2 skipped, E3 considered, E4 skipped, E5 considered, E6 skipped, E7 considered, E8 skipped, E9 considered, E11, E10 skipped, E11 considered, E12 skipped. So E1 we have to write it in the LHS, remaining whatever the here ECC bits are there, we have to perform the exclusive OR operation of this. It is E3, E5, E7, E9, E11. So this is the E1 operation what we have. Okay, so if you observe E1, E3, E5, E7, E9, E11. So what is this? The respective data what we have. That we'll just check it out. Similarly, for second one, E2, check 2 bits and skip 2 bits. So E2. So one note is that E1 not considered because it is before E2. So E1 is before E2, so we should not consider. Now check 2 bits. E2 and E3 is considered. E2, E3 is considered. E4, E5 is neglected. 6 and 7 is considered. 8, 9 is neglected. 10, 11 is considered. 12 is neglected. So, or skipped. So if you observe E2, I am writing it LHS. Remaining bits exclusive are E3, exclusive are with E6, exclusive are with E7, exclusive are with E10, exclusive are with E11. So this is how we calculate for E2. Similarly, for E4, it was 2 raised to 4. So E1, E2, E3 are skipped, are not considered. Now since it is 4, consider 4 bits. There is check 4 bits, skip 4 bits. E4, E5, E6, E7 considered. 8, 9, 10, 11 skipped. 12 considered. So E4 in LHS, remaining bit exclusive are of E5, exclusive of E6, exclusive of E7, exclusive of E8, E12. Similarly for E8, check 8 bits and skip 8 bits. So whatever is there before E8 is neglected, remaining bits are considered exclusive of E9, E10, E11, E12. So this is how we need to find the ECC. There is a parity error check bits there. So now we have to write the 12 bits data. So as we know, these data are mapped correspondingly here. So perform the exclusive OR operation of the respective things. So what is E3? E3 is D1. E3 is D1. E5 D2. D2. E7 D4. E9 D5. E11 D7. Exclusive OR of that. Now if you observe here, how many ones are there? 2 ones. So it is even in nature. So output is 0. Similarly, E2 D1 XORed with D3 XORed with D4 XORed with D6 XORed with D7. Now, if you observe here, odd number of ones are there 1, 1, 1. So 3 ones are there. So it is odd in nature. Output is 1. E4. If you observe D2 XORed with D3 XORed with D4 XORed with D8, no ones are there. It is 0. So output is 0. E8. Again 2 ones, output is 0. If you observe the respective bits, 0, 1, 0, 0. So whatever the result we got for E1, E2, E4, E8, we have to update it here. So it is 0, E1 here, E2 is 1, 3 and 4. 4 is 0, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 is 0. So this is the 12-bit ECC words. Now in the second problem, we'll determine the error and try to correct it if it is there. Okay, so determine whether there is an error in the ECC word 110, 111, 000, 110. This is a 12-bit ECC bits. And if there is any error, we have to identify it and correct it. Now, the process is same. Okay, first we need to find E1, E2, E4, and E8. Okay, so these are the respective given 12 bits, what we have just shown it here. And whatever I have written it in the red color, they are all 2 raised to the power 0, 2 raised to the power 1, 2 raised to the power 2, 2 raised to the power 3 for the respective E1, E2, E4, and E8. Now let us find the respective digits there. So we know that E1 is E3 XORed with E5, XORed with E7, XORed with E9, XORed with E11. So we have to see the respective numbers. So here we have 4 ones, so it is 0. For E2, it is E3, E6, E7, E10, E11 XOR operation. So it is totally 3 ones there. Okay, so it is 1. E4 is having 2 ones, so it is 0. E8 is 3 ones, it is 1. Okay, so now the result is what? 1, 0, 1, 0. Now we have to see whether there is a syndrome or not. So that is 1, 0, 1, 0 XORed with 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, so when you compare it XOR operation, we get the result as 0. So there is no error in the given error check bits there. Okay. Now, similarly, let's go for the third problem. Now we have not seen the error in the previous problem. Now let us add the error and we'll just check it out. So the problem is 000, 111, 000, 100. So this is the given question. For this, we have to just check it out whether there's an error in this or not. So we have to follow the same method. So E1, we have to XOR with 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. So we get 3 ones. So the result is 1. For E2, we have 2 ones. So the result is 0. For E4, there is only 1 1. So the result is 1 because odd number of ones. And E8, since it is 1, odd number of ones. So it is 1. So 1101 is the respective error check bits what we have got it after performing the exclusive OR operation. Now we have to perform that one, which we have just shown it with the respective bits there. Okay, so we have got 1101. What is the available one? We have to just check it out. Okay, so it is 0, 0, 0, and 1. So 1000. When you perform exclusive OR operation of the what we have got it, we get 5. This is a non-zero value. It shows that there is an error and the error bit is 5. So we have to flip the E5. So if you observe, previously it was 0. I have flipped it to 1. And this is the corrected ECC code word which is to be sent to the memory location there. Okay, in this way, we need to identify, detect, and correct it. Note that we have assumed that only one bit of stored error would be in the error. Now, if there exists 2 or more bits of flip, then what to do? But our Hamming code, it will detect only a single bit error according to our design. Now, if this kind of problem occurs, then what we have to do? Okay, so we have to distinguish between the single error bit and a double error bit. So in order to find a double error bit now, we have to add further check bits in the given problem there. So if we add a check bit that is exclusive OR of all the data bits, the resulting error checking code allow us to correct only single bit but detects double error bit. So whatever the Hamming code method what we have done there, if you perform the exclusive OR operation for the error check bits, we can detect and correct single bit, but for double error bit, it can detect, it cannot correct it. So if you assume that errors are independent, the probability of double bit error is very low. So if the error bits are very independent, then the possibility of double error bit occurring is very, very low. So already we have seen the result of a 8 bit there, and the result of that one, what we have got, we will just check it out. See, in our illustration of 8-bit code word, we show that correcting single bit error requires 4 check bits. So observe 4 check bits. So 50% overhead means 50% extra hardware we have got there. And detecting a double bit error requires 5 check bits. It means 63% overhead is required, extra hardware is required there. So if you observe the percentage of overhead, what is required for the single bit and double bit error. So if you observe 50% overhead for the single check bit and 63% overhead for the double check bit is required, extra hardware there. How this is happening and how to perform this one is that for single error, we have performed log 2n plus 1. There is log n to the base 2 plus 1. For double error bit, we have to perform log n to the base 2 plus 2 there. We have to perform 5 check bits. So for the previous example, we would have got it here, 5 check bits there. Now, random theoretical results of the certain results for n number of bits, it has been shown here. Okay, so if n is 8, we require single error bit as 4. N is 16, 5, 32, 6, 64, 7, 128, 8, 256, 9 check bits there. So overhead requirement is getting reduced. As number of bits increases, the overhead, there is an error, overhead can be reduced there. Whereas in double bit detection, if you observe for 8 bit we require 63, 16, 38%, 32 7 bit that is 22%, 64 it is 8 bit 13%, 128 is 9, 7%, 256 is 10, 3.9%. So this is the overhead for the respective number of bits what will be getting it in the according to this particular analysis, what you can just substitute and verify it. Okay. So for longer data word, provision of this form of error detection and correction is increasingly attractive because it requires less hardware there. So since Hamming codes are one of the simplest ECC, they are most often used in applications requiring moderately high reliability, such as network server computer. So frequently, since in networking, we'll be using this Hamming code. So Hamming codes are used in the network server computer, okay, to detect error and correct it. So more complex ECC are used in specialized high reliability applications such as aerospace computer and communication systems. If you have any questions, go to the comment section, write down the question, I'll reply to your question. If you like my video, subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. If you like my video, click on the bell icon for further notification. Thank you.